Hey, I just got done watching the showcase for Hiyuki, but it's not something that can already sold me into pulling for Hiyuki. I'm already sold into pulling for Hiyuki, although they did show like a 2D animation that start in the beginning of the trailer of the showcase, and obviously it looks pretty good. Alright, her kids is here, and we're just gonna go through everything as much as possible. A lot to go through here. I did try to skim through all this already, and matter of fact, you can already farm for her, only the boss met right here. But for the others, like materials to level up and her talent boss, not yet available, unfortunately. Okay. Alright, no more stalling. Let's get right into it. She's gonna be a main damage dealer, Resonance Liberation damage, Glacier Chef. This is something that has been in my mind for so long. I would love for a Glacier Chef unit. There has been so much units Kuro games have delivered in Wuthering Waves that I assume to be Glacier Chef. You have to understand, like they mentioned negative status last year. It was a long time ago. This negative status effect was announced the moment Renacita drops, and they only deliver it during Renacita, Spectrofrazzle, and Aero Erosion. That's about it. And then they stop. I feel like they forgot or something. But afterwards, we did got Havoc Bane by Chisa and then Glacier Chef by Hiyuki. Finally, it feels like they're getting back on their feet. Like I said, I already skimmed through this a little bit, and I saw this one thing that it kind of interests me. Like outro skill, Snow Light Blessing. Glacier damage dealt by nearby resonators other than Hiyuki in the team is amplified by 20%. So this means you can actually play 2 DPS in Hiyuki teams. So like it will actually make sense to have 2 DPS with this outro skill damage. And they even play like Carlotta here. I don't know if Carlotta will work with Hiyuki, but I would love to try. And I also expect like, because this Glacier Chef, I know it's 20 seconds, is quite long, but I would expect that they would bring like a Glacier Chef unit coming soon to play with Hiyuki, to either be a DPS or sub DPS. And I think that sounds great. Okay, let's get back to the top right here. Alright, let's get through the normal attack, Flaming Sakura Blade Art. Basic attack, present self. Now she has 2 forms. First off, the present self, and then the second one is a full claim self. Now we're gonna get into all that as well, but I just wanna say about this bow attack. It's just a heavy attack. It's such a shame. I really thought it was gonna be something different, you know, because it looks really cool, and I thought I was gonna be using it more often. But turns out it's just a heavy attack, and it seems like it's something that you're not even gonna touch upon. The heavy attack looks dope. I can't believe they put so much work just for players to not be able to use it at all. Normal attack, Flaming Sakura Blade Art. This is gonna be her second form. We don't know much about it just yet, but all I know is that she's gonna be able to have like another ult, and she's also gonna have like this charging mode, like you hold your basic attack and it's gonna create some sort of more damage increase. It's gonna be interesting, I'm telling you that. This one right here. While in Proclaim Self, hold normal attack to enter Hold Breath. Release normal attack to cast heavy attack. Proclaim Self, dealing glacial damage and blocking the incoming attack. So basically, like if there's like a supposedly to be parry mechanic, she's just gonna slice through it. She's gonna be able to attack the enemies, even though the enemies also attack. She's not gonna be interrupted. At least that's what I'm hoping for, because she's blocking the incoming attack. So she's just gonna go through the enemy if the enemy is like attacking as well. That sounds so cool. It looks really cool as well that you have a charging attack, charging mechanic. I like something like this. It belongs in like games like Devil May Cry, something like that, or Nier Automata. It has some charging mechanic like that, and I like it. When the Whiteout Bitterfrost is full, heavy attack for Claim Self is replaced with heavy attack. I believe this is gonna be a forte move. Like if a forte bar is like full, and then you just do the heavy attack, and it creates this whole circle thing. It looks like an ult, but it's really just a forte. It's probably gonna do Resonance Liberation damage. All this attack is gonna do Resonance Liberation damage. Resonance skill Frostblight. Testing this skill enhance the next basic attack. Present self stage 3, which now restores 100 points of dedication when cast. Now I believe that there's gonna be like 3 points, like you know the 40 by like it's like 100, 200, 300. So that's gonna be like 300 points. They say right here, if dedication is below 300 points, hold normal attack within a certain period after casting this skill to perform basic attack. Present self stage 3. So what they're saying is that if you don't have the max points, the 300 points for the forte, you're gonna be holding the normal attack, and then you're just gonna cast this skill, and then it will perform the basic attack stage 3. So that's gonna be interesting to test it out yourself, I guess. Resonance skill Frostblight. While on the ground, press resonance skill to pull in nearby targets and deal glacial damage. Like she can also pull the enemies. She has like a little bit of a grouping mechanic. That is so cool, and this is free, by the way. You know, Aemeath, you have to get her S1 to do the pull, to do the grouping. I find that so annoying. Why did you lock behind S1? It's something like that. It's like a cheap move, but it's also very useful. But you can just give it to S0, which is what they're doing to Hiyuki right now. You can just do resonance skill, While on the ground, press resistance skill, and then you pull the enemy. That is so cool. While in mid-air, press resistance skill to pull in nearby targets and deal glacial damage, removing... Okay, so this one is also like pulling enemies as well, even during mid-air. So you can use a resonance skill in mid-air. That's nice. That's I think that's like a cherry on top. It's not a bad addition, and I like it a lot that you can just do it in mid-air and on the ground as well. Resonance liberation for claiming. For claiming, inward vision becomes available after casting heavy attack. Now this is how they change into a different form. It is locked behind Resonance Liberation. It's locked behind her ult, and I look into the comments and some people have mentioned something like so it's gonna be similar to Phrolova's gameplay. Now I don't know for sure because I didn't read through the kits. I don't want to spoil myself. But if it were true that it's gonna be something like Phrolova, then I honestly, no energy regen, that would be nice, because she used so much Resonance Liberation. She used this one, and then she has another form of Resonance Liberation as well. This is a second form Resonance Liberation where she does like a big AoE damage, a nuking damage, hold Resonance Liberation to enter a charging state by continuously consuming Snowforge Blade. Release Resonance Liberation to deal glacial damage. The more Snowforge Blade consumed while charging the attack, it looks like it plays around with the Forte as well. Like this Snowforge Blade thing is the Forte, and you consume it, and then it becomes like a different form. And then similar to this one as well, after you cast like heavy attack, I assume it's like Forte plays a huge part in this, and then you cast your Resonance Liberation and then you go into a different form. I don't know how this works. I think she has more than just click Resonance Liberation and then you change form right away. It doesn't sound like that, okay? It sounds like you have to do more than just that. And then she has a second move as well, second Resonance Liberation, second ult. It does sound like she does more than just pressing a Resonance Liberation button. That, to me, it sounds very interesting, and I'm looking forward to try it out. Now, it doesn't look like they're explained this thoroughly as well. While in line stance, press normal attack to cast basic attack. But you look at the animation right here, it shows like she's like holding her basic attack, right? It is like a heavy attack move. Hold, hold, hold. It's like that's gonna create some sort of stacking, consume 1 stack, consume 2 stack, and then like bam, get more damage over that. You just have to try it out. They don't explain this properly. Is it really normal attack to cast basic attack, or just that? Or is it gonna be like hold basic attack and then it becomes like a more powerful damage dealing mechanic? Excited to try it out, man. Like she looks like she can do a lot more than just normal attack, heavy attack. She looks like she has a lot of complex moveset here. While Hiyuki is in the team, Glacial Shaft inflicted by all resonators in the team is replaced by Glacial Bite. When claiming inward vision or basic attack lie hits the target, if the target has now fewer than 10 stacks of Glacial Bite, remember Glacial Bite is gonna be the equivalent to Glacial Shaft, so this also means like we will be getting a new Glacial Shaft unit as well in the future. Someone other than Hiyuki. Now there's already someone in mind. For me, it's gonna be probably Lucilla. But other than that, Havoc Bane unit. There's still a possibility that we're gonna get Rover, Havoc Rover, because why not? They gave out Spectrofrazer Rover, why not Havoc Bane Rover, right? The other one, Chisa. Now the reason why Havoc Bane is so good with Hiyuki is that Havoc Bane can increase the negative status effect. For example, if you hit the negative status effect like Spectrofrazer to the enemy, and then you apply Havoc Bane infliction to the enemy, it will just increase, it will just double the amount, something like that, okay? So Havoc Bane is really good. It's really negative status friendly. So having more Havoc Bane character is kind of game breaking. You don't just need to have Chisa, you can have like Havoc Rover to replace Chisa as well. That is how good Havoc Bane is. Now they could also just release someone from Cyberpunk collab. Not gonna be Lucy. Lucy looks more like a Spectral unit, but Rebecca on the other hand, possibility, right? There's a lot of possibility. Why not Havoc Bane on the Cyberpunk collab, and then like you can use the Cyberpunk character with Hiyuki. That will be interesting. And now that's her intro skill, Frost Edge. Deal glacial damage immediately, consider as Resonance Liberation damage, and apply 1 stack of Glacial Shaft on hit. So already, like I've been wanting to know myself, like how much Glacial Shaft can Hiyuki alone stack? How much can she inflict? I don't know. We're all so unsure about this. They haven't probably told us how much Glacial Shaft she inflicts. But seeing that her intro alone already applies Glacial Shaft, that's already a guarantee 1 stack of Glacial Shaft. Now, I will mention about this later because like I said, I already skimmed through this. I read something about it as well. Let's continue. In present self, casting this skill restores 200 points of dedication. So she just get 200 points and you're only missing like 100 points to max out the dedication points. Press or hold normal attack within certain period of after casting the skill to cast basic attack or claim self stage 3. We already heard about that after reading the skill part. In for claim self, press normal attack within a certain period after casting the skill to cast basic attack for claim stage 2. Why does this attack sounds like she has a pause, like press normal attack within a certain period after casting? Within a certain period, does it mean like she has like a small pause before doing another cast? If that's the case, she's going to have like a very interesting moveset. Now let's move forward. Ultra skill, the one that I read before already, that she might have a possibility to be played with another DPS unit. So she's gonna be a sub DPS for having this outro skill, and then the other one will have like a, or it could be played like Phrolova and Cartethyia. You know, not that bad. It's a fun thing you can do with this double DPS team. I like it as well. I think it can be really fun. Just a combat guide, deals substantial resonance vibration. We know that as well already. Okay, we're not gonna go through this. Skill, inherent skill, Fine Snow. When resonator in the team applies Glacial Shaft or Havoc Bane effect, Hiyuki gains 1 stack of Snow Rust. Now, Snow Rust is another stack where you have to apply like negative status effect, which is Glacial effect or Havoc Bane. And like I said before, the reason why Havoc Bane can be applied in so many negative status is that she can give like an addition of the negative status that you applied already. So if you already inflict Glacial Shaft 1, Havoc Bane will just add another one, which is why Chisa will be the new meta while playing Hiyuki. So fully expecting everybody will be running Hiyuki with Chisa once Hiyuki releases. Except for me, because I don't own Chisa. But if they do give like a ton of pulls dispatch, if I do get lucky, I might just go for Chisa. I don't know. I want my Hiyuki to be strong. I want her to do a lot of damage. I want to min-max her, you know? I'm sure a lot of people will be doing the same thing. If they get lucky, they might want to go for Chisa. Other than that, you know, just wait for the collab. Now look at right here. 1 stack of Snow Rust when Hiyuki is the active resonator in the team. Glacial Bite damage is amplified by 30% against targets within a certain range. Hiyuki's crit damage is also increased by 40%. Now this is a guarantee, 1 stack. You already apply Glacial Shaft the moment you have your intro skill, because Hiyuki's intro skill already applies Glacial Shaft. So this is a guarantee. The 1 stack is already guaranteed. But what about the 2nd stack? What about the 3rd stack? So I would assume Hiyuki can already apply the 2nd stacks on her own as well, because she is a Glacial Shaft damage dealer, right? So surely they will make her able to apply the 2nd stack on some of her attack. Let's read the 2nd stacks. 2 stacks of Snow Rust when Hiyuki is the active resonator in the team. Each time she applies Glacial Shaft, she additionally deals 102% Glacial Bite damage once. It's interesting right here because they mentioned like each time she applies Glacial Shaft made it seem like she can apply more than 3 times. So immediately I just assume like she can apply to 3 stacks of Snow Rust then, isn't it? When Hiyuki is the active resonator in the team, Glacial Bite damage is additionally amplified by 30% against target within a certain range. And then they mention right here, this effect resets when new resonators are added to the team. I assume like if you switch character, the effect will reset, right? The Snow Rust effect will just be gone. So that means you have to apply Glacial Shaft first with a different character. Hold on. I'm actually confused. Like you have to have like Hiyuki apply the Glacial Shaft first to create the Snow Rust effect. But you can't switch to Chisa then, because or else the new resonator added to the team will just reset this effect. Or you will be like this. You play with Hiyuki, you apply some Glacial Shaft. Glacial Shaft effect is not gonna be gone yet. So you switch to Chisa, quick swap here and there, right? Quick swap to Chisa and then apply some Havoc Bane. And then you switch back to Hiyuki. And then continue on with the Snow Rust effect. You keep on inflicting the Glacial Shaft using Hiyuki only for 3 times in a row, and then you get all the potential right here. I think that's how it's gonna be like. So Hiyuki to me right now already sounds like they designed her to be a quick swap character, a very challenging character to play around with. Very interesting unit. I'm gonna be excited to try her out. We're gonna have a hell of a time testing her out here and there. Tower of Adversity, Whimpering Waves, a lot of stuff to do with her. Her moveset sounds so complex, sounds a lot more complicated from the looks of it as well, like right here, it doesn't sound like you necessarily need Chisa to be in the team. It sounds almost like you can already apply it to 3 stacks. You can get the max potential in Hiyuki's kit to quote-unquote maximize her damage. Unlike Galbrena, I'm gonna give like a small example here. Galbrena cannot reach her demon hypostasis. She cannot maximize her forte bar without Chuyuan or another echo casting unit. You either have Chuyuan or you have Cantarella in the team. But this character, it seems like she can maximize her forte bar or something similar to that. Inherent skill Ephemeral Realm. Once Hiyuki leaves the combat state or recovers after being knocked out, once she stays out of combat for 4 seconds, has fewer, I think that's like a grammar error right there, has fewer than 1 point of Snowforge Blade, restores 1 point. Okay, I mean, that's just a bonus, right? That's just a way to make the character plays a lot easier in a more comfortable way, I guess. Forte secured Everfrost Dominion. Glacial Bite. While Hiyuki is in the team, Glacial Shaft inflicted by nearby resonators in the team is converted to Glacial Bite. Now, if you have a Glacial Shaft unit other than Hiyuki, they will also apply Glacial Bite. Every time a new stack of Glacial Bite is inflicted on a target, an instance of Glacial Bite is triggered based on the enemy's current Glacial Bite stack limit. So the enemy needs to be stacked with a lot of Glacial Shaft to become Glacial Bite. Like they need to stack over and over and over. Like right here they already mentioned when 4 claiming inward vision or basic attack light hits, if the target has no fewer than 10 stacks of Glacial Shaft, consume 10 stacks and trigger Frostbind once. So right here, they fully expect you to be able to stack up to 10 Glacial Shaft, 10 Glacial Bites. Now that's now that is where Chisa comes. Okay, this is where Chisa is gonna have a hell of a time to increase the negative status effect. And then this rotation for 10 stack of Glacial Shaft. So they already mentioned that when Hiyuki joins the team right here, that means they fully expect you to play quick swap mechanic here. They're expecting you to go to Chisa and then go to Hiyuki and then do the rotation over and over again, where you just switch back to Hiyuki, joins the team, remove all stacks of Glacial Shaft. It will reset the Glacial Shaft on the enemies already when Hiyuki joins the team again. Just an interesting gameplay here. When Hiyuki leaves the team, if there is no other resonators in the team who can convert Glacial Shaft into Glacial Bite, all enemies' Glacial Bite stacks are cleared. If you don't continue with the Glacial Shaft effect or Havoc Bane effect to increase the Glacial Shaft, the stacks will just be gone. So this to me sounds like a whole team that can abuse negative status effect, and you also need to start mastering or understanding how quick swapping works. So if you are planning to play Hiyuki and you're like a meta slave, right? You want to play this character optimally, you might want to understand quick swap. She is not going to play around similar to Aemeath. She's not going to have the same animation like Aemeath. Aemeath is like a walking playable cutscene. That's what Aemeath is. Barely any quick swap. You can quick swap with Aemeath, but her playstyle, a lot of cutscenes. But Hiyuki right here, a lot of quick swapping you need to understand. Fly stance. If Hiyuki has at least 100 points of Frost Heart, performing any of the following actions causes her to flash backward and enter light stance. I assume it's the one where it looks like she's holding her sword or on and on and on and slice the enemy back and forth. It looks really cool. And right here they mentioned this, which is Hiyuki's mid-air dodge charges are reset. So she's gonna be able to like dodge in mid-air. I assume using the light stance, which is gonna be her attack. It's probably gonna look similar to Jian dashing. I don't know. Basic attack Lie. Within a certain period upon after entering Lie stance, press normal attack and consume 100 points of Frost Heart to cast basic attack. Frost Heart to cast basic attack Lie. Dealing glacial damage considered as resistance liberation, which is something that we should all understand already. Her main damage is going to be resistance liberation. So if you want to build her out, it's going to be resistance liberation attack percent. And I assume not going to be a lot of basic attack. Her heavy attack is probably going to be all resistance liberation. No resonance skill. Resonance skill is probably going to be resonance liberation as well. But hey, who knows? Maybe you will check it out later in Pride Win or something. Right here they mention if Hiyuki is attacked by an enemy within a certain period during basic attack Lie, neutralize this instance of damage and become immune to interruption. I know it. Okay, right here. Heavy attack for claim self. Holding the heavy attack right there. Slash. Probably not gonna be interrupted as well. It's really cool. Almost all her have like an interruption resistance. This character sounds OP, but at the same time she sounds like very complex to understand, very challenging to play around with. And obviously a lot of people are gonna have a lot of fun testing her out and playing around with her. And it's gonna be a long time until you actually master her attacks. But that's what will make the character a lot more fun to play around with. Okay, let's continue. Each time basic attack Lie is cast, if Hiyuki has Frost Hardened Lie, consume 1 stack of Frost Hardened Lie to inflict. She does have a lot of these consume mechanics, and I'm really worried about that because if you have like stacks after stacks, and each of your attacks relies on consuming another attack. It's gonna take you a while to understand the character, how they work. Dedication. Hiyuki holds up 300 points of dedication, like I said before. She's gonna have like a 3-4 T bar, most likely 100, 200 to 300. And if I'm not mistaken, the intro skill alone already gave her like 200 points. So all she needs to do is just present self stage 3 restores 100 points already. So it's gonna be easy to increase her 4K bar, it seems. Frostheart is looking to be like another 4K mechanic, 300 points of Frostheart, similar to Dedication right here. Frostheart and Lynae has a maximum of 3 points. Now they're turning into 3 instead of 100, 200, 300, 1, 2, and 3. And then there's gonna be another one as well, like Bitter Frost stacks up to 3 times, each times Frostheart and Lynae. Now Frostheart is gonna be like during her inward vision, grants 3 points of Frostheart and Lynae already. But then, this one, Bitter Frost stacks up to 3 times, is consuming from the Frost-Hardened Lynae attacks. And then this one, Snowforge Blade stacks up to 3 times, is also play around with the consuming and stacking mechanic. The Snowforge is like each time heavy attack, Frost Splinter for Claim Self is cast. So it's like you have to do heavy attack to gain the Snowforge. This one you have to rely on basic attack. It is so complicated. But Hiyuki doesn't just rely on skill, resonance liberation, basic attack, heavy attack. She does basically all of it. She basically relies on all of these buttons you have to click as well. You have to do heavy attack. You have to do basic attack right here to white out Bitter Frost. At this point, I feel like test her out first and then you come to understanding. You can't just outright and say it how she works. You need to actually test her out, play around with the character. Okay, let's read this Resonance Liberation 4 claim. This is gonna be her second form already. Now, what interests me when she switched into a 4 claim mode, her second form, is that when you switch into her second form, she already applies 4 stacks of Glacial Shaft, 4 Glacial Bites already. She applies enough to maximize all her stacks. And then, let me read through this, okay? While in 4 claim itself, 4 claiming Blade Liberation can be cast via the following ways. Press Resonance Liberation release to cast 4 claiming Blade Liberation. If Hiyuki has 3 points Snowforge Blade, consume all. Otherwise, this cast does not consume Forge Blade. Hold Resonance Liberation to enter charging state. During this state, consume 1 point periodically. Release Resonance Liberation to cast 4 claiming Blade Liberation. It sounds so much. If no Snowforge Blade is consumed when Resonance Liberation is released, Hiyuki will continue to charge the attack and cast the skill automatically after certain times. Okay, for some reason it sounds a little bit like Augusta, how if you don't do anything at all, you will still get the Resonance Liberation attack. They will just auto-attack it for you. If you cast the skill, casting the skill consumes 200 points. Okay, if you cast this whole skill thing, it will just immediately consumes all your 4K. Get it. Normal attack, Flaming Sakura Blade are... Now this one is interesting as well. I know all of it is interesting, but come on, this also applies. Like the basic attack stage 3 applies 1 stack of Glacial Shaft already. Okay, you got that. You also got this, changing into a different form, applies 4 stacks of Glacial Shaft as well. And then you also have this one, Heavy Attack. This is gonna be her heavy attack where she used her bow. The arrow applies 1 stack of Glacial Shaft, and she shoots 3 arrows. So she can apply 3 more Glacial Shaft. Okay, the Glacial Shaft application is gonna be like intro skill 1, 4 from the Resonance Liberation. That's already 5. Another stack from Glacial Shaft is through the basic attack number 3. So that is already 1. So that's already 6. And then 3 more from her arrow attacks. So that's 9 Glacial Shaft attack. So that's 9 Glacial Shaft attack. I see what they're doing here.
You sure about that?
I see what they're doing here. Okay, the 10th one is gonna be Chisa, where she can use this moveset right here. This moveset right here. Consume 10 stacks of Trigger, Frostbind, 10 stacks of Glacial Shaft to maximize this attack. You need 1 more Glacial Shaft. They're not gonna give you that, is it? Hold on, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Maybe I'm missing something here. Hold on. Heavy attack, already read that. Mid-air attack, present self, consume stamina. Okay, nothing there. Dodge attack, okay, nothing much. Basic attack, 4 claim self stage 3, 4, 5. Each applies 1 stack. Okay, 3, 4, 5 already applies that. Already applies 1 stack. Okay, so that means stage 3, 4, and 5. So it's 11. Overall Glacial Shaft damage that she can do is 11 stacks. Okay, currently editing the video, I messed up with the 4 claim self with the present self. Present self, they need like stage 3 only to hit with the Glacial Shaft. But for the 4 claim self, you can get 3 Glacial Shaft. So one on the present self, 3 on the foreclaim self. So that is 4 stacks of Glacier Chef from the basic attack alone. 11 stacks alone, and she can already maximize the moveset then. And I fully expect that her sequences will allow her to apply more Glacier Chef, because if they don't do that, it's just going to be another Zani situation. So they have to do that, right? They have to do that to make her more comfortable to play. Heavy attack for claim itself, already explained all this, they don't need to go through it again. If Hiyuki is attacked by an enemy, certain during thrust, neutralize the instance of damage, stagnate nearby targets, and become immune to interruption. Yep, they always do this, like they explain the things they already explained it times already. Hold on, there's another one. 1 stack of Glacier Chef, hit, heavy attack, bitter frost for claim. Don't know if I explained this already, so if I didn't, that makes it like 12 stacks overall. Mid-air attack for claim self, while in the for claim self mid-air, present self is replaced by mid-air attack, okay? And looks to me, mid-air attack for claim self stage 2 and 3 apply 1 stack of glacier damage. So that's another 2, like 13 already. Okay, alright, I mean that's quite a bit. Dodge counter for claim self, this is just a dodge counter, but because it's in a different form, it is considered as Resonance Liberation. And then there's Toon Break, which is not much to talk about, and that's about it. Yeah. She does like 14 or 13 if I counted wrong. Glacier Chef, negative status effect. That already places a character apart from characters like Galbrena and Zani. Galbrena, Zani, or any other characters that just have difficult times to match their forte bar. Like Hiyuki right here, she can do all of that on her own. You don't actually need Chisa, it seems like. If you actually use all her basic attack, if you use all those things where it's probably gonna be like you staying on field a bit too long despite the buffing is already gone, you still have to be on field with Hiyuki. So if you have A0 Hiyuki and you don't have Chisa, you will probably stay on field with Hiyuki a lot longer than most characters. But honestly, that's not really an issue. It's an issue when you can't individually play the character solo. You can't just individually stack up her effects. Because to me right now, Hiyuki seems like a character that can stack everything, all her effects on her own. Chisa will be just an addition to the buff, to her bonus damage, all that stuff. Soloing with Hiyuki might actually be a thing, and that is something I'm excited to try out and maybe even make a video out of it. So as of now, that's about it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. See ya.